This here's from the Mary Sue from February 6, 2024. It's called This Gina Carono Saga That No One Cares About Anymore Just Got Worse. Well, no one cares about the crappy Disney Star Wars anymore, but we do care about good actors that were treated poorly. So I'd say this is pretty inaccurate. You probably know Gina Carano, with the help of Elon Musk, is suing Disney over the fact that she got fired from the TV show The Mandalorian. What she did was she tweeted out something on Twitter at the time, now X, about how Republicans were being treated unfairly. And there was some truth to it, to be honest. And I guess Disney didn't like that. Whether you agree with her or not doesn't matter. That's not a reason to be fired. And some of her other co-workers were also tweeting political things, just as heavy, just as serious, and no mention, nothing. They just moved on. So let's see what we got. And yes, if you can't tell, I'm firmly on Gina's side, and Musk's side, you could say. Gina Carano cannot let sleeping dogs lie. The actress who previously played Cara Dune in The Mandalorian continues to make her own gross social media posts everyone else's business, as she's now suing Disney while being backed by Elon Musk. A cursed sentence if I've ever seen one. Carano, who was fired from Disney's payroll after she wouldn't stop posting right-wing social media conspiracy theories, is now filing a lawsuit against the Mouse, according to The Hollywood Reporter, stating that the company discriminated against her because of her posts that were discriminating against the transgender community. That wasn't actually the one, but okay, I think it was mostly the one about how Trump supporters are being treated, let's just say, unfairly and being smeared. And yeah, whether you like the right wing or not, there's a lot of pressure in the media to paint them as one big group of evil. I just think they're a group of people with a certain set of opinions. That's about it. That's what it is. Just like the other side, the left-wing voters are a group of people with certain opinions. That's it. But I digress, not getting too political. Her post also spread misinformation about the you-know-what vaccine and a number of other issues that the company reportedly talked with her about. But why? What do you mean? They talked to her about what? Her opinion on some issues? Why? There's no mention here that they think someone should have the right to their opinion. The assumption is she did a bad thing and the company warned her. Well, that's not exactly what's going on here. Now, Carano's trying to get a court order that would force Lucasfilms to recast her as Cara Dune. Guess she wasn't making the kind of money working for Ben Shapiro that she was getting over The Mandalorian. I don't know, man. I think it's more about principle than getting the job back. It's about a statement. That's my silly little opinion, but that's how I would feel. I don't think she wants to be on the silly show anyway. Elon Musk is involved because of a statement he previously made about anyone who was fired for their social media posts. Musk said he would pay the legal bills incurred, and he is helping Carano, a famous actress, foot the bill. In a statement, Joe Benarock, who is X's head of business operations, said, as a sign of X Corp's commitment to free speech, we're proud to provide financial support for Gina Carano's lawsuit, empowering her to seek vindication of her free speech rights on X, the ability to work without bullying, harassment, or discrimination. Sounds good to me. A key point to remember, free speech. Who isn't for that? Well, maybe the Mary Sue isn't. They don't seem to care about that element so much. They don't mention it. They seem to think the speech should be censored and Gina should have been fired. Okay, here's how they feel, and I hear this argument quite a bit from people like the Mary Sue. I guess no one doing this realized that not only is Disney a company, and that means they can fire anyone for any number of lawful reasons, including their social media posts. Right, but the point is, she was being discriminated against because her co-workers, Pedro Pascal, who plays the Mandalorian, fired out some political tweets that were just as serious, if not worse. So that's discrimination in the same way you would just fire someone for, say, the color of their skin or their gender, because it's unrelated. But I guess the Mary Sue can't think that deep. What's the old phrase? They can't see past their own nose or something like that. More than that, Disney famously told Carano what she needed to do to keep her job, and she refused, something that Carano herself admitted. They said she had to stop posting. They said she had to shut up and basically not have free speech, and she could work. But once again, her co-workers could have their free speech because that's what Disney agreed with politically, which is, well, discrimination. Now, though, Carano's trying to be the people's voice by forcing Disney to hire her back via the court system. Some of us have been unjustly singled out, harassed, prosecuted, and had our livelihood stripped away because we dared to encourage conversation, ask questions, and refuse to go along with the mob, she said in a statement, and I agree totally. Here they mention Pedro Pascal actually, but what they say is that Gina's posts were actually offensive to people and his wasn't, while Gina was making an analogy about something in history that wasn't tasteful. It was actually somewhat accurate, but not actually calling out a certain group. What Pedro did is he called right-wing voters the N-word, which was more specific and objectionably more offensive. So the Mary Sue can't think about what was going on. They mentioned Carano said she was excited to have X fund the lawsuit. And I must mention, she's only asking for 75 grand. I mean, people ask for way more for way smaller things. I commend her on that. That's pretty reasonable. They said that she used the memory of Carl Weathers to guilt trip Disney about her firing in an Instagram post that was on the surface about him, but really about her. I didn't see it. It seems kind of off the tracks to me and unrelated. They get into what Gina said. I'm not going to go there because this is YouTube and rules and things like that. And I, tread a little carefully, but it's right there on the screen. Also, they say Carano refused to listen to members of the LGBTQ plus staff at Disney when they tried to talk to her about her transphobic tweets and why they were harmful. Well, she doesn't fucking have to talk to them if she doesn't want to. She could say, doors closed, bye, don't care. I mean, that's a right. That's a right you have. You don't have to talk to people. And they say her claim's laughable when it makes a lot of sense. I gotta say, if Pedro Pascal didn't tweet that stuff, then Disney would have a stronger case. They would be like, well, this is how the company operates. This is what everybody does. This is what's expected. You're not doing it, but everyone else is. But that's not the case, so he kind of ruins it for them. It still wouldn't be right if they fired her, but it would be better if she was in a company where everyone had to abide by the same rules. Then it wouldn't be discrimination. Then it would just be, authoritarianism rules, but a little different. And it closes with this. This entire situation continues to be exhausting, and I long for the day when I do not have to hear about Gina Carano trying to get her old job back. Give it up, it's gone. Don't forget, she probably doesn't care so much about it. She's probably got some money saved up. She'll have a future. She'll move on. She's not going to be in the poorhouse. But on principle, I think it would be nice to see her get that job back. Then people might actually watch the show again. Probably not, because it really went down the drain. But maybe if Gina was in it for that, they'd watch it. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. Doing pop culture, entertainment, things like that, whatever comes up. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. If you don't, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.